Hey guys, this is LJZ, and I've actually been wanting to do this review for a while now. But before I get into the actual review, I just need to say one thing. To Mr. Wobble94, aka Michael Kelly, thank you so much. Now if you don't know Mr. Wobble184, check him out. Okay, he has awesome reviews. But anyway, Michael, in your video, when you mentioned that you wanted everyone to check this book out, I'm so happy you said that. Because I checked it out, and let me say, I'm so happy I did. This book is amazing. Now you see, Ghost Road Blues by Jonathan Maberry is my first book by Jonathan Maberry that I've ever read. And so far, I just gotta say, I mean, it's as good an introduction as any to his writing style. Let me just say, I I adore the cover on this book. And it's not a big book either. I mean, it's 478 pages, including a little snippet from Book 2 of the Pine Deep Trilogy titled Dead Man's Song. So not too lengthy of a novel. Plus, what you gotta see is the font. Hopefully you can see this. It's just your average size font, nothing different. Now, this little bugger is actually surprisingly hard to find. I checked multiple bookstores near where I live, all to no avail. I could not find it. One day did get lucky though at my local Books A Million, found this lone copy of a book, basically thrown at the back of the shelf. What's up with that? This is an awesome book. And I was able to find this, buy it. I also got lucky, struck gold, and found Book 3 of the trilogy at Books A Million. Book 2 I had to order, but the point is, you may have trouble finding this, but trust me, it's worth the effort of trying to find it, because once you do find it, you realize its magnitude and awesomeness. Okay, now into the summary. So basically this novel takes place in a Pennsylvania town out in the country by the name of Pine Deep. And Pine Deep is widely known as basically your go-to Halloween town. It's widely known for its Halloween attractions come the Halloween season. It also says like some of its Halloween stuff like the candy corn is sold throughout the East Coast. Now let me just say, this book starts off on one of the creepiest, best notes I've ever seen in a book. And what basically is happening is there's a hayride with all these kids on it, some adults, and one of the kids is snatched off the hayride by these creatures in the forest. The creatures drag him, start ripping out his intestines, everyone's screaming their head off. The guy driving the tractor can't get out of mud, and some of the creatures are now coming after the hayride. Well, you find out it's actually just part of the attraction, and the guy who got his intestines ripped out, he's to no harm. That moment right there totally helps set the tone for the entire book. But it becomes quickly apparent that Pine Deep isn't all about harmless scares. Later in the book, it talks about a group of 3 men who are driving toward Pine Deep, running from the authorities, and these men end up hiding in Pine Deep, essentially threatening the lives of everyone there. So this book, while it does have its horror aspects, it also has a huge undertone of like a thriller side to the book. Because for most of this book, while these 3 men are hiding out in Pine Deep, all these police officers are searching and hunting them down. You really get the thrills. And then there's actually a very nice prologue to this book, which revolves around a guy named Orrin Morse. He's this African-American guy, also known as the Bone Man, and talks about him chasing down the devil and eventually killing him. Now it does mention something about the moonlight and how the Bone Man has to kill this guy before the moonlight shines on him. I'm guessing that's hinting at the devil being a werewolf. But anyway, you find out when the Bone Man kills the devil and throws his body in the swamp, he's not dead for good, and he's going to rise again, and he causes havoc in this book. So yes, in this book there's a lot of craziness going on, a lot of characters, pretty good cast of characters if you ask me, and it does switch the story to different characters as well. Some of the main characters of note would have to be Malcolm Crowe, ex-cop and the guy who runs the local Halloween shop. He actually ends up playing a huge role in the book. I'm not going to spoil what. Then you have Val, who's pretty much his girlfriend. Great couple there. Then there's this teenager by the name of Mike Sweeney, aka Iron Mike Sweeney. A pretty weird, but still a cool kid, and I love how the book takes you into his imagination. And it's really sad because Mike is abused by his stepfather, Vic Winsgate, and his mom is basically drunk most of the time, so she can't do anything about it, and she's too afraid of Vic. Everyone's afraid of Vic. But there's one moment in the book where Mike is getting beaten up by Vic, and let me just say, it's a really exciting moment where Mike realizes that Vic isn't immortal. He isn't all-powerful. Jeez, and there's this guy named Tow Truck Eddie who believes he's hearing the voice of God in his head, and God is saying, "You are my right hand, Tow Truck." And Tow Truck Eddie believes he's Jesus, and it's really convoluted, and you gotta really marvel at Tow Truck Eddie's stupidity. But hey, I gotta admit, Tow Truck Eddie really makes an interesting character, and let me just say, some of his actions later on turn very, very sadistic. So yeah, if I had to pick one of my favorite characters from this book, it would either have to be Malcolm Crowe or Mike Sweeney. I really sympathize for Mike, so I'd have to go with him, but Malcolm Crowe makes her a very heroic character as well. Yeah, you have your good, great characters, and then you have your bad, who just ooze evilness. I really like the small town, country feeling of this book. And it's also interesting to see how the inhabitants of a small town react when something big comes their way. And during the whole manhunt for these three men, there's a great undertone of panic, because it's mentioned that on Halloween, something bad is going to happen, called the Red Wave. Cool fact, in 2006, Jonathan Maberry actually won the Bram Stoker Award for Best First Novel for this book. And it's pretty cool because then in the following year, 2007, Joe Hill won the same award for his book, Heart-Shaped Box. So anyway guys, heartily recommend you check this out. You will not be disappointed, and Michael Kelly, I do believe and agree with you on the fact that they should get together, guys in Hollywood, get together and maybe adapt this into a movie. But yeah, get a good quality actor. Don't have a low budget. Okay, use however much money you need. I would say follow the plot line exactly how it is in this book. Don't leave anything out. There are some gruesome scenes, yes. Make it a rated R film. I don't care. With a good director and cast of actors, this could be an amazing film. Great book. I'd say it's making out to be a very good series. I cannot wait to read the next book, Dead Man's Song by Jonathan Maberry, which I'm actually starting today, and I'll get a review it when I'm done with this.
I give this book 6 out of 5. Check it out.
Hey guys, this is yours truly, LJZ0724. Please give me a like, please give me a comment, please subscribe. It all is appreciated. Join the LJZ cult. Dobby!